All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. As always, super stoked about the podcast we have coming on. That was perfect timing, by the way. How awesome is that? Hey, if you ever wonder if these podcasts were scripted, they're definitely not. But I got a really cool guest on. One of our guests has actually been on the podcast before under a different platform. We'll get into all that. But I've got the boys with the Western Hunt Fest with me today. And if you guys haven't heard about the Western Hunt Fest, you buckle in. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a cool podcast. I think this is something that you guys will want to be part of and just enjoy. You know, there's a lot of cool things out there for hunters, and you know, there's different things popping up that we can do to kind of keep ourselves going during the off season. But I think they pale in comparison to what these guys are doing. And so let's do some introduction. So right now I've got Guy and Jeff on with me, and so let's do a little introduction, guys, and then we'll jump into the podcast. Guy, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the Western Hunt Fest.
So appreciate you having us on, man. And it's always a pleasure when we share time. Sometimes you're driving by my neck of the woods and they'll shoot me a text like, "Hey, I'm rolling." So yeah, thank you, man. We appreciate the opportunity, to spread what we're doing with Western Hunt Fest. So my partners, Jeff and Ephraim, we've been friends for quite a while, and they actually started the event a couple of years ago. We're going into our third season. And they started it, just kind of going to other 3D shoots and enjoying them, having fun, and just doing the 3D shoot thing. You get out there with the boys, and it's a lot of smack talking. The competition starts, and it kind of spawned the thought process in Jeff's head. I think more than Ephraim's, like, we need to do something, man. We need to have a all-encompassing hunting event and not just a 3D shoot, right? Because I can shoot that target, but then what happens after I shoot that target? Well, if I translate to the field, it's time to clean that animal and it's time to pack that animal out. So kind of hence our pack out challenge. So it was just a thought, and the first one come together in a couple of months. It was freaking amazing. We had one venue, maybe 75 people showed up, which is huge for 2 months of preparation. And it just kind of snowballed from there, right? So, now the third season, we saw 200% growth in our second season.
Wow.
And we just want to keep growing and growing and growing this thing. So we're branching out. We have 4 venues. Well, excuse me. We have 5 venues this year, 4 full shoots. And then we have our championship, which we can get into. That'll be the 5th one at our inaugural venue in Bailey at American Bowman. But that's really where Western Hunt Fest started. My involvement, like I said, we've been friends for quite a while, and I would, go to podcasts like I do at the events and just started helping, kind of took over the MC part of it.
Yeah.
And kind of leading through that. And it's hard to explain. There was such a level of camaraderie and what was going on. And for me, hunting is an experience, right? And it's something that I'm passionate about. And I told them, like, look, I'm all in regardless, but I want all in. Mm-hmm. And they slapped me on the butt, gave me a kiss on the cheek, said, "Let's go." And now we're swinging for the freaking fences as a trio. And it's been an unreal experience, And then when you can share something like this with people you consider your brothers, it's a big deal, man.
Oh, that's cool, man. I love it when stuff like ideas like this come out of just a friendship. It's like, hey, I love doing this. These are so much fun, but how can we make this better? How can we improve this? And to take it. And I'll admit, you guys just all of a sudden popped up. I've been a Western Contours fan forever, and then all of a sudden, boom, here we are going on this Western Hunt Fest. And like you said, 2 months. That's what it took from the time that you guys really started to your first event, 2 months.
Yeah.
Dang, that's pretty dang impressive, boys, to be able to put that together and make that successful. And man, that's very impressive. So yeah, I love ideas like this where you can just come together. Hey, I want to do this. And you know what? Jeff, I promise I'll get to you, but
No, you're good.
To be able to just, dive into something like this and get people that will dive into it with you. That's pretty special. People that have the same kind of love of these things that you do, and to can buy into the vision. And I know, that sounds so cheesy, but you guys know what I'm talking about. I know a lot of our listeners know what we're talking about. You see that vision and get someone that's like, yeah, let's do this and make it happen. I mean, it's definitely special. So Guy, you said that you guys have been friends for a while. Jeff, how did he get you to be one of his friends? Because he had to pay you a lot of money to be one of his friends or something. I don't know.
So him and Efren were friends first. And I was just a fan of the podcast. And then I met him, and from day one, I loved him.
Yeah. Nice.
Likewise, it was like jump, right? You come across folks or you meet somebody, and it's like you never missed a beat,
right?
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, what's up, man? Like we just picked up where we left off, and we never left off anywhere.
Yeah. That's awesome. So Efron is the third member of the team. He's not with us yet. He might join onto the podcast here in a little bit, and if he does, we'll introduce him and welcome into it and get to know him a little bit as well. But let's jump into the Western Hunt Fest and what it is. So I'm sure a lot of people have seen it on social media or YouTube or wherever. There's some. You guys are doing a really good job with marketing. I'll tell you that much. You guys are putting a lot of content out there so that people are seeing it, hearing about it. So kudos to you guys for that. But for the people that don't know, I mean, give us the 36,000 view of what, I mean, you kind of talked about it. You've done 3D shoots, but it doesn't include the other things. And you kind of just touched on it. And I do want to dig into where are the competitions and the shoots and stuff like that. But give us the high level view, and then we'll kind of get into the nitty gritty.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
So the basic outline of the Western Hunt Fest is it's a hunting event first. So we have our hunting seminars, we have our competition aspect of it, and then we have our fun family time of it. Our competitions, we offer a elk culling contest. We offer a 3D archery contest with hunt type scenarios on each shot. And then we do our pack out challenge. Our pack out challenge is a simulation of a mule deer for women and a bull elk for men. It's
That's
really cool. It's the bread and butter of our event. And then we do the sprint challenge as well. But that's new. So we'll be implementing that this year in our 2024 season, and that'll be more like a tiebreaker. But yeah.
It really is. It's a real and I kind of said this in the intro, but as we were preparing for hunting season and we all try to do our own stuff. I'm hiking, packing, trying to keep myself physically fit. I'm shooting all the time, but honestly that can get boring because you're doing it by yourself and it's not as much fun. And so from what it sounds like, that's kind of what this is trying to help with, is really that preparation, because you really get to do a lot of those things, that sprint challenge, the pack out challenge, the elk calling competition. I actually, oddly enough, I really actually would like to start there. As I was kind of writing this outline, and I love that. I love calling elk. I'm not good at it. I'm terrible at it. I sound like a trombone out there or something like that. But so I'm not going to win any competitions, Guy. Just don't even put me up on that platform.
You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. Hey. We had our first event last year. The guy that won. The look on his face when he won the New Mexico event, he couldn't believe it. He goes, "Man, I thought I suck calling." But when he got up on that stage, and our judges are legit judges, legit, right? I mean, world class callers, instructors, elk slayers, and the dude was a really good caller, and he's listening to himself, right? It's like singing in the shower,
right?
Is what I liken it to, right? Everybody, either you can sing in the shower. For me, I don't think I can sing in the shower. Right.
I don't know that I want to hear it. Jeffrey can do it. Yeah.
Right. So we always tell people, because that, surprisingly enough, you would think the pack out challenge would intimidate more people than the calling comp. The calling comp gets more people running back to the 3D course than anything.
Yeah. That's intimidating, man. I mean, like I said, I call elk and they'll talk to me and I call them in, but to sit there in front of some judges and call, that would be just that super. And I watch, when I go to the Western Conservation and Hunt Expo, I'll watch the elk calling competitions because it's amazing what those guys can do with a reed in their mouth. So I love that you guys are doing that, but I wanted to kind of ask a little bit about that. And you kind of touched on this. So your judges are people that they know how to do this. They're hunting fools. They know how to call elk, and they know how to listen to those different intonations to be able to judge the difference between, here's what I want you to do this call, I want you to do this call, and they know it very well.
Yes.
Where did you find
So we've
that?
had Joe Gillia, Josh Walker, Jermaine Hodge. So, we have Tom
Cody
Dissing
McCarthy.
over at Mile High Note Game Calls. So,
Oh, sweet.
the judging is legit. The best part of it is we have, a big piece of this is education.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're at an RMEF event, say, right, those are pros, men's division or pro division. At ours, you can go on the stage and call and then walk up to Joe Gillia or Tom or Jermaine and say, hey, man, what did I do good in?
Mm-hmm.
What didn't I do good in? And you can get that answer right there on the spot. Hey, man, and I saw a couple of the judges call guys over like, hey, next time or in the woods, do X, Y, and Z. This is the only thing that blew you out, so you're getting that hands-on by participating too, right? So, we can talk about our educational piece, but that's a huge aspect, and you're getting it in every competition, in every realm of this, you're getting education.
So that, and it really plays into my next question that I had for you guys on that was, like, do you have to be a world-class caller to enter these competitions? Do you have to have a resume to get into the elk calling competitions? Who can be involved in that?
At our event?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Anybody.
We want, so I'm going to have to tangent us a little bit, right? So when we started this, you had your 3D shoot and your call comp. That was the points. You had a winner in each, and then we have our team pack out challenge. Well, now, because we want everyone to participate, we want everyone to grow. Now it's a combined point system to get invited to our championship, which is the Bailey event, the last event for the year. So you have to compete in the archery event, the pack out, the sprint, and the elk calling comp to get a chance to come to the Super Bowl, if you will, of 3D archery events.
Wow.
So yeah, and we want everybody. We have a kids division, we have a women's division. We had a lady last year, and she didn't know what she was doing. She got up there and started to bugle, and then she went right into bark, 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 and she could call chickens like nobody's business. On Jeffrey,
Yeah, it was the best. It was absolutely the best.
And
Hey,
I mean, really,
it.
it's like Jeff said, it's family centric, right?
Yeah.
So we don't care. We don't care. We want everyone to participate. We want everyone to grow. We want everyone at the seminars and just bettering themselves for season.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, here's another element to it that people underestimate. Like, when you're in the woods, we've all been there. That first time that you try to call in an elk or one responds and you're close and you're like, okay, I don't want to screw this up. You still have that, like, stage fright that you would get when you're doing calling competitions. So it really helps a lot of guys, especially guys who haven't called in the woods or who are afraid to call.
Mm-hmm.
It helps them ease that anxiety a little bit. Like, okay, I've done this before. Like, I've had eyes watching me before. Because I remember my first few times calling in bulls, I was like, I don't know if I should do this. Like, I might squeak. I might sound like a horrible elk, and then the elk's going to run off, which usually isn't the case, but
at least
it helps you with that.
It gives you that little bit of experience so that you're not going out just completely blind. You actually kind of have a little bit of confidence walking out into the field. Well, again, going back to really what I feel like the whole purpose behind your guys' platform is preparing us to go hunt and be successful hunting. And so kind of giving that opportunity to practice, hone your skills, have someone that can teach you how to do that. I think that's really cool. And you kind of, Guy, you touched on seminars, and I was going to ask related to this. Well, and I guess we can kind of jump into seminars as well, but tell me a little bit about those seminars. Are there elk calling seminars? Tell me a little bit about those and what you guys offer at these events.
So, right now we have 3 speakers in the elk realm, Joe Gillia, Jermaine Hodge, Tony Gilbertson, right? So 2 world champion callers, and then Joe, the quintessential elk coach himself. So yeah, they're going to be talking about calling, but they're also going to be talking about when to use what calls and what scenarios. So it's not just this is how you blow a diaphragm, blah blah blah.
Right.
We are looking at having a basic elk calling seminar. So where folks that have not touched a diaphragm, Jeff will probably be the one doing that. And you want to talk about a world-class caller. This dude can
really
toot with the best of them.
Oh,
the
man.
best of them.
We're gonna have to do a little.
One of the only guys I know that can legitimately use a domeless diaphragm and make it sing like a freaking church organ, dude. It is unbelievable what comes out of this guy.
We're gonna have to do a little private lesson here because I need some help with it. I like I said, I sound like a trombone out there.
And then we had Amanda Rowe with Kafaru. So Kafaru is one of our main sponsors when it comes to the Pack Out Challenge. They've been backing us on that. So last year, Amanda did a fit function pack seminar because a lot of what we see is folks not knowing how to use the equipment that they have. So we have that going. And there'll be a couple other things that we're throwing in there. Jeff's going to be doing a kids how-to seminar. We have our kids calling comp, and we'll have a kids 3D range and stuff like that on, at all our shoots as well. So, and then whatever else we can fit in. Figure the event's only 2 days, and we're getting as much as we can in with the primary focus of it as well. So it'd be probably I think we're looking at probably at least 2 to 3 seminars per event, and we're working on getting some women centered or front type seminars going too, right? Because that's our most ignored demographic in my opinion, but It's one of our fastest growing demographics, and we really, really want to support that. So
I've been impressed to some of the events that I've been to, not just not yours, but just other events that I've been to lately. I mean, even you say like the expo here in Utah and Salt Lake, or some of the other 3D shooting events. It's impressive the number of women that are starting to come out to those events and get into hunting and be successful in hunting. I felt like there for a while it was, women were just wear a bikini and look good, and that's what people loved in the hunting world. That's what women were in the hunting world for 2 decades, and I feel like now it's
I used to podcast about it.
Yeah. I feel like now it's I still love it, don't get me wrong, I still love a woman in a bikini, but it's more like women are really getting into like some women can do some amazing gear reviews. In fact, we've got one up on our YouTube channel that Jordan, she's now with Meat Eater, but she did one for us on some gear. Actually, we got a couple that she did a fantastic job. I mean, we got some women that are really doing some cool stuff. And so I love that you guys are focusing on that demographic and getting them out there. And if you get some seminars centered around women and women in the hunting world, I think that would be fantastic. I think seminars are a little underappreciated at these events. And so I guess I'm more talking to my listeners than to you two. But when you guys go to these events, take advantage of these seminars, learn from them and enjoy them. Sign up for them. Don't be afraid of them, because I think they're a great resource for you to be able to grow as a hunter. So man, looking at 2 to 3 seminars per event would be huge. And there, you said it's a 2-day event, right?
2-day event. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive to bust that out and get that out there. So
and we're always looking to expand on our seminars too. So like, we want to provide what the audience wants. So we're open to changing them and moving pieces around so that we can provide the most education that we possibly can with the seminars.
So give me a better idea of like the education that you guys are providing, Jeff. Like obviously we talked about the elk and the women. I mean, are we talking hunting tactics? Are we talking, well, obviously Faro, so we're talking gear and packs and how to do that. But going back to like the hunting tactics and how to be a better hunter, how to spot and stalk better, how to, are there seminars around that kind of stuff?
So our whole 3D archery tournament is hands-on education. So we do each shot we're going to have people hold for 30 seconds. We're going to have at one of them, we have them hold, or we have them draw, let down, re-range, adjust their sight, draw back, shoot. We have them
Sounds like a real hunting
crawl
scenario.
a little bit, stay down. Yeah, we have them be quiet on certain ones. We have one that we call Buck Fever, and we have everybody in the group teasing the shooter, trying to get in his head, or her head,
Yeah.
and just really trying to mess with their mental game. And then we're really intentional about like where their footing is when they shoot and the angles, the bubbles. So the whole 3D course is going to be an educational experience.
So
It's going to wreck their scores,
that's all right.
but it's teaching. It's all
Teaches it teaches us when we go out that we still suck.
yeah. And it teaches me that I'm a savage when I make these 3D archery courses.
Yeah. So talk to me about logistics. I'm so curious. Sorry guys, I'm kind of geeking out a little bit and getting really curious about this. So you're saying that is there somebody at each station telling you to do this, or is there a sign at each station saying, hey, this station you've got to hold back for 30 seconds, or talk to me about the logistics of this. How does that work?
So not someone at every station. I wish we were at that
That'd be
ability
impressive.
level. It'd be crazy. But so like the time shot, yeah, we have a timekeeper at the time shot that does it, right? And this stuff works off the honor system. We really want you following the instruction at each station so you get the most out of it. But like the time station or, I was actually, I didn't do it though. I was supposed to go sit at the Buck Fever station in Raton last year, and I was going to bullhorn people just the whole time, right? Just to get in the head. You just get so busy and going that
You get shot.
The fun stuff of it as you're running it is a little bit rough, but yeah, for the most part, it's all honor system, and we expect,
Okay.
the people that are showing up, they want to get the most out of it. So follow the instructions at the station.
Very cool. Well, and who cares about the scores? I care about the score. I like to put up the best score I can, but I think when you're able to come out of it being like, okay, I'm a better shot. I'm better in a hunting scenario. I mean, from the sounds of it, that's what you're trying to accomplish by this.
Yeah, we really. I mean, it's a hunter ethic thing, right? As a responsible outdoorsman or outdoorswoman, we should be going out the best shape, if you will, that we can, right?
Yeah.
And that means physical fitness, preparedness behind our stick and string or whatever your weapon is through whatever season. That is the goal. So you should be able to go into this and say, okay, I want to shoot a 212 and walk away with a buck 35 and go, ooh, I have a lot of work to do in the next 3, 4, 5 months and hone in on where, what that weakness is.
Yeah.
And the numbers are showing the tag posts for Western Hunt Fest from last season it was outstanding. It was like, for us to have this event tagged in people's success,
Mm-hmm.
we'll never take it as it was us.
Right.
But the fact that they're doing it and now coming off of season and they're out preparing for Western Hunt Fest,
Exactly.
again, you know what I mean? It speaks volumes to what's being done at the event. So,
Well, it's producing better hunters. I mean, honestly, that's exactly what you're doing. So not only are they preparing for Western Hunt Fest, but they're preparing for Western Hunt Fest. It's going to
Season.
prepare them for the season, and it's just going to make
That's
them a
it.
better, more successful hunter. It's going to make hunting more fun for them. It's going to keep them involved. It's going to get more people involved, which is awesome. So I think that's dang cool. So, man, I'm getting excited about this.
Yeah, we call our championship the Super Bowl, but the real Super Bowl is the Elkwoods,
Right.
Yeah, so like it's cool to see so many of our guys knocking down bulls like the first week of September. I'm like, yes, look at
Yeah.
this. Like, it's so awesome, like
Yeah, that's
really cool to see.
That's the
it was
reward,
crazy
right?
too. I mean, the amount was astonishing.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool.
That
That
was
is so
awesome.
cool. Yeah, I know you guys give trophies and the belts. I do like the belts. That's pretty freaking awesome. But the real trophy, honestly, is the animals harvested during the season, which is
That's right.
the ultimate goal here. But all right, I want to talk a little bit about some of the other things that go on at your guys' events. So the pack out challenge, I think that's probably. I mean, the 3D shoot's pretty popular too, but I think the pack out one is what gets a lot of people's attention. So I'd really like to spend some time talking about, where did that idea come from? Is it just because that's part of hunting and that's what you want to do? And then for those that don't know what it is, can you guys explain what that pack out challenge looks like?
Yeah. So I'll hit the idea part of it. You know, we hunt solo. Effort and I, we hunt together, but we mostly hunt solo. So we had like realistic expectations of like, okay, like physically I could hunt this far, I can do this, you know. And I was seeing a lot of education that was pushing people way far back in the backcountry. I'm like, I don't know if that's really smart for a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
So we had tossed around ideas, and like we wanted part of the Western Hunt Fest, like initially when it was coming up in my brain, is like I want a fitness element of it. I want to test people. I want people to realize where they're at, you know. So as we were brainstorming, it was like, oh, we got to do a simulation of the pack out. Like, why not? It's perfect. It'll teach guys like their limits. It'll help guys push those limits, and then it'll I don't know, just be fun, you know, downright fun. So that's kind of where it came from. And then yeah, I'll let Guy explain what it is because it's amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's so much fun, man. So I actually got to compete in it at the inaugural event, and it is brutal. I mean, it's not a long course, but you know, we're in the woods. We're not really focused on the time of something, and this makes you focus on the time of something, and you think you're ready for it until the stopwatch button is pushed, and it's crazy, man. So generally speaking, we are half mile to 3/4 mile loop. You have your simulated elk is your 2 front quarters, your 2 rear quarters. We did average weights. You have a loose meat bag. You have to take your head and your antlers. And then on one trip, you got to take your bow with you. Okay. So the only thing that we're not requiring is to have a loaded pack with your tent and the rest of your gear. And you know, you go run that, you know, half mile to 3/4 mile loop.
Run.
The course is set up in a nature that, you know, in a half mile, 3/4 mile, you're going to see uphill, downhill, side hill, varying terrain, right? Across rocks. We're looking for loose dirt going uphill. We're looking for, you know, steep downhill with some step downs, things like that. To really test, again, you know, to Jeff's point, is to test your preparedness and your physical ability in that. We have some beasts that run it. I mean, there's a couple guys that win event after event after event, you know, going into year 3. So it's really interesting as we branch out and, you know, make this event bigger. Who's gonna be taking the ship at this point is anybody's guess. But that's it in a nutshell, man. And it really is interesting. The one part of it that I really love is sitting there and watching people load their pack. Mm-hmm. Are they efficient in loading their pack, right? When they put their pack on, are they donning the pack correctly? You know, what's getting tightened down first when you watch people put meat in there, right? Or is that the most secure load, right? So the better the fit and the function, the more efficient you are as a hunter, right? And it's actually sussing that out for people. So Amanda and I were sitting in the Kifaru booth recording a podcast, and I look over and I tell her, I go, man, look at that. And she looks and she goes, oh my goodness. I mean, we're seeing, you know, hip suspension up around, you know, the navel.
Oh, geez.
Loads falling out because, you know, this isn't on, load lifters disconnected, things like that. And that's kind of what spawned the fit and function, you know, pack seminar that she put on. And, you know, so we're going out and we're like, hey, you need to have this connected. You know, your belt's there, but it's not hooked up to your pack. And, you know, your load lifters are here, your pack's on your shoulders. And, so again, you know, rolls back to our education, but they get to see their physical preparedness. Can they go a mile into the country, right? I mean, can you go a mile in the front country? But everybody, like Jeff said, you know, wants to go 5, 12, 13 miles, right? We hear all these big old numbers and it's like, yeah, that's one thing with nothing, but put a quarter on you and think about how many days for a solo hunter it's going to take to get all your gear out and an entire animal safely without spoiling meat, right? Because you're gonna make 2 trips at 4 miles. If you're 4 miles in, 2 trips, I mean, you know, we're looking at 16 miles. Are you going to keep going or are you going to stop?
Exactly.
When the sun goes down, are you ready to keep going? Or are you one of those, you know, folks that think the boogeyman's out there when the lights go off? So it's so cool to see, and people come to the realization like, man, I'm really not ready for this season. Yeah. I got to up my game. So Yeah, that's the pack out challenge, man. And the brotherhood and sisterhood, because now we have the ladies pack out challenge, which is simulated mule deer.
Uh-huh.
To see the brotherhood on the course, these guys, everyone's competing. And I was on a team with Armando from the bow hitch, and we're getting lapped. I mean, we're getting smoked. We're probably the oldest dudes on the course. And the brotherhood and camaraderie where everyone is pulling for everyone, and this guy is working on time, but there's a guy on his knees trying to get up this rock face, and he stops, turns around, grabs his brother, pulls him up that rock, and says, "Okay, I'm out."
Yeah.
You know, and you're passing people, and they're rooting you on. You're getting your butt kicked, and they're passing you, and you're rooting them on, and they're motivating you, and you're motivating. Oh man, it's a beautiful situation, man.
Oh man, that's
our
awesome.
our team competition came down to less than 1 minute, and the team that was in the lead was actually rooting on the second place team, like, "Come on, keep going," and they were running to the finish line. It was like the most dramatic ending ever, but it was awesome. But you talk about a place to test your gear, like the Western Hunt Fest is the ultimate place to test your gear. If you think you have good gear, and
come on.
That's the best place to test your gear before you get in the woods. Like, if your gear is shaky, you're going to find out there for sure.
Yeah, not just your pack system either, right? I mean, down to your footwear system, right? And for folks that don't know me, you know, boots aren't enough. It's an entire system down there to keep it rolling.
You know, it's funny while you're talking. I feel like that people, the way they hike into the backcountry is kind of like fish stories. You know, they say I hiked in 15 miles, you know, to this camp, and you're like, "Oh, really? Well, show me where your camp's at on OnX." And so you pull it up, and you follow the trail, and it's really 5 miles, but it does feel like 15 miles. And I'm using big numbers. I mean, it could be 5 miles, and they say it's 5 miles. It's really only 2, but man, when you're hiking with a full pack, and then you try to pack out an animal, I mean, it's a butt kicker.
It's brutal, man.
It is, and. You know, so I'm a marathon runner. I run marathons. I've got 2 that I'm running this year, and it's fantastic. But what I've found, and I've taken people out that run marathons with me to hunt, you know, hike, hunt, whatever, it's a different animal. You know, if you're not practicing and preparing to pack an animal and haul that animal out, that weight out, I don't care how much cardio you've done or whatever, it's a completely different animal. And so I love that you guys are doing this to be able to let people, you know, kind of know where you're at. And I still can't believe people run that. They run that course with a full elk on their back, everything. They'll literally run.
Yo, there's a couple guys.
They're idiots.
There's a couple guys that are like,
I want to shake their hand, but they're idiots.
I need to make up 30 seconds, and I mean flying, like coming across the finish line like it was an Iron Man, just collapse, boom.
Yeah,
and it is just exceptional to see.
Who are these beasts, man? I gotta start working out with. I don't want to work out with them. Actually, that sounds terrible, but
yeah.
Oh no, it's so much fun, man.
Man.
Well, so I mean, on that note, we're gonna start. We're calling it our Ruck Out Challenge, and just in preparation, we're running. Basically, we're gonna get a pot together, get a bunch of folks that want to do it, and we have a certain poundage for a certain amount of miles per week for 6 weeks, and then at the end of that 6 weeks, we have a pot. We'll have some prizes to throw in there, a couple vinyl harnesses and whatnot. So,
sweet.
We're gonna kick that off here in the next week or so. We thought we were going to start it this week, and then I set the miles a little bit high, and people were basically flipping me the bird. So
what'd you put it at? I want to know. What was the mile?
I'm sorry.
What was the mileage you put
initially?
it at?
Initially, I said 50 miles a week.
Yeah.
With how many pounds? How many pounds?
45 pounds was the start.
I'm in for that. I could do that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but then people were like, "Hey, man, I don't have the time to do 50 miles, right?" They start averaging what they have to do a day. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I understand that, right? I'm probably a little more time rich than a lot of folks, and I can appreciate that. And we want participation,
right?
And we want people to be ready, and we want people to, to start now for season. So I had to peel that in, reel that in a little bit. And it cost me all our video footage and lead up, so I got to redo all that.
Well, when you launch that, I want to be involved. Make sure you tag me when you launch that, because I want to be involved in that. That sounds like a blast. What did you say, Jeffrey?
Another cool Another cool piece to it is we have the boys from Hunt Hike Harvest run our pack out challenge,
Yeah.
and they geek out on the numbers, man. So if somebody starts at the first one and ends at the last one, they can give them real numbers on like what their improvements, how their improvements have showed up on the course. They can give them plans of action to get improvements. Like, it's really cool. Those guys, they take it to the next level. They are top-notch guys, and
Awesome.
they love it. So it's cool. I don't understand all the numbers to it, so
Hey, but it
it's
gives
cool
you
to have them in place.
it gives you markers.
absolutely.
You
I'm
know,
glad you-
it gives you like those markers to be able to tell like, am I improving or am I not? You know, just same with like going back to the 3D shoot and keeping score. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not going to keep score. This isn't a competition. I'm just here to have fun. But it's kind of cool to keep score so you know what kind of improvement that you're making each time. And hopefully you're making improvement. If you're not making improvement, we need to change something and talk to these two guys. They can probably tell you what you need to change. But, you know, I like that, being able to have those markers that you can see that improvement as you go.
And just for the record, you know, the competition is a big aspect of it, right? But we want everyone there to come and enjoy it, right? So if you're not into competing, just come participate, right? Not everyone's out there. You know, the competition is really with yourself, right? The brotherhood and sisterhood, you know, it says it all. But, you know, come out and enjoy the event, get the education, understand where you're at. And if you don't turn in points, then, you know, no harm, no foul, but you still attended and you still got a little bit better for season. So,
yeah. Okay, so we got the seminars, we got the pack out challenge, we got the 3D shoot. You got the sprint coming up. This is a pretty full event, and you guys are packing this all into 2 days. So
2 days.
I keep saying the word logistics, but because I want people to understand like what they're getting themselves into. So how are you jamming all of that into 2 days? So if someone signs up for the Western Hunt Fest, give the listeners an idea of like, okay, so, you know, Friday morning we're doing this through Saturday evening or however it goes. Can you give guys the listeners an idea of what that looks like?
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Yeah, absolutely. So on Friday night, make sure you eat lots of carbs. make sure you're ready and rested, and you go to bed at like 2 p.m. Saturday, Saturday morning we kick it off with 3D competition. So we kick it off with a 3D competition. The 3D competition should it starts at depends. It depends on which event, but typically starts at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then we finish around lunchtime. At lunchtime, we all come back to the vendor village. We eat some lunch. We start our seminars, and then we kick off the pack out challenge. Shortly after the pack out challenge kicks off, we will introduce the seminars and the elk calling contest and all the festivities throughout that. We make sure to post the timeline up there so that everybody can participate. But we this year we wanted to change it up just a little bit. We wanted to start the pack outs a little bit later, so we shortened the courses just a smidge so that we get full involvement in the education piece. So that is one change that we made. After we finish our seminars and everything, then everybody goes out to the novelty range, shoots some novelty shots, just has fun. We have fun. We have a cornhole tournament, just entertainment for the family. We have a kids Nerf range that they could partake in. We just keep rolling through events, and we try to keep the participation with everybody if we can.
Wow.
And then day two, same thing. So day two, we'll start off with the 3D archery tournament. Then we come back, we finish our pack outs. The sprint challenge will kick off Sunday too. So if you don't get your pack out challenge in on Saturday, you'll be sprint challenge and pack out on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. And we strategically placed the 3D archery tournament first because the reality of hunting is you're not going to pack out first. Right. You're going to pack out after you've wore yourself out on the 3D archery. Yeah. Course. So don't think your advantage is doing it at 7:30 in the morning because we already took care of that.
Yeah. Oh, well, and try to shoot a 3D archery shoot after you've done a pack out. I don't think I could even pull my bow back after that. So
right.
It's probably smart to do it that way. Man, that's a lot to pack into a couple of days, and which is awesome. I think that's good for people. It keeps them busy throughout the day. It keeps them, engaged in the whole competition. Keeps them looking forward to what's coming up next. Probably puts them to bed pretty tired on Saturday night. I'll bet nobody has a hard time sleeping Saturday night. And maybe
you'd be surprised.
Really?
Because after the event, folks are like, "Where are we going? What's the drinks? What's this and what's that?" And it's like.
That's probably Guy.
I think last year after Bailey, man, I was smoked. I climbed in the back of the truck. Yeah. Jeff and I, National Forest truck camped. I climbed in the back of the trunk, and I think they were, you guys were up until like 2 a.m.
These guys had me playing some stupid game, and I'm so competitive, dude. I cannot lose. So
2 a.m. though. That's a little late for me.
Beer pong, beanbag game. I don't even know what it was called, but it was.
Dang, and then you're back up the next morning going at it.
Crushing.
Yeah.
And people were out just tearing it apart the next morning.
The same dudes that were playing that game with me were out tearing it up. I don't know how they were doing it.
I'm too old for that stuff.
Yeah, Jeff looked at me, goes, "You want to play?" And I laughed, and I just climbed in the back of the truck.
I don't even know how he slept. We were so loud. We were screaming and tackling each other.
See, but
it was like wrestling with beer pong. I don't know what it was.
Jeez. But this is the fun part about these events, though, honestly. And not, like I said, any event, but you get these, like you were talking about, Guy, the brotherhood that you get from these events. Whether it be during the event or before or after hours, there's so much camaraderie and relationship building. Yeah. And I know that sounds all mushy, but there really is. And those kind of relationships, it is. I mean, I've got some of my best hunting buddies because of events like this, where we're like, hey, let's just go shoot. Let's do a 3D archery shoot and, be on the mountain for the day together. I didn't even know the guys, and now they're some of my best friends because of this. You suffer together, you celebrate together, you give each other a hard time, and it really is a lot of fun. So you guys have a lot going on. It takes a lot of people to do this. Let's talk. And I know I won't keep you guys here all day long. I promise I'll get you guys wrapped up here pretty quickly. But
we're good, man.
I wanted to talk about cost and what people get when they sign up and stuff like that. So let's talk a little bit about that. What does it cost to sign up for the Western Hunt Fest? When you do sign up for it, what do you get? I mean, obviously entrance into the event, but do you get other little swag or something like that? Talk a little bit about that.
Got it, Jeffrey. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So first and foremost, spectators are free. So if you're interested in getting involved in hunting or this sounds like something that you would like to do, please show up. We will take care of you. We'll surround you with the right people. We'll give you some education. And then second off, we have changed our system. So before we were kind of doing like an a la carte, like you can do the pack out challenge, you can do the elk calling, or you can do the 3D archery. Now we want everybody to participate. So we have a single entry fee. The single entry fee is, I believe it's $100 for both days or $80 for a single day.
It's cheap.
But that gives you everything. Yeah, it's super cheap. We actually, with the cost of everything going up, we wanted everybody to attend. So we actually lowered our costs significantly from the previous year. Just we figured we could we can make up for it, in other ways, to help keep pushing the event and just getting it in everybody's hands. But yeah,
what we got there, guys? What we got sneaking in the camera there?
Yeah, he decided he was going to get up from being curled on the floor and say hi.
He had to get in on the podcast. For you guys listening, guy just had his dog sneak into the camera. What kind of dog is he?
And French kiss him.
Yeah.
What is he?
That's an American Bulldog.
American Bulldog. Okay.
Yeah, hey. He's still just a pup. He's not even a year and a half yet.
Jeez, he looks huge. Good boy, though. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
He'll be probably 150, 120 pounds once he hits his growth spurt.
Ooh,
good. Super best dogs in the world, man. I love them.
Really good looking dog.
My
for
favorite
sure.
breed. Yeah.
So man, $100 for both days. And $80 for one day. You might as well do both. I mean, you're making the trip out there. You do both.
Yep.
Everybody that's listening, just do both. That is a smoking deal. You guys give out any kind of swag with like shirts, stuff like that with the sign up?
Yeah, so we have tons and tons of giveaway stuff that we give out throughout the event. Historically, we gave them out to everybody that participated. We're going to change up the way we do that this year. We're not 100% sold on how we're going to choose our giveaways, but we'll be giving stuff out to everybody that shows up. We last year we gave out a shirt to everybody, but we included that in the price, so we took that out just to help save some money for those folks that were scraping. So we're going to have shirts and like Western Hunt Fest merchandise available, but it will be for purchase. But we wanted to really focus in on everybody. We wanted to bring that cost down and really provide an educational service. And if you want to buy stuff, cool.
I love that. Actually, I really like that. I think that's a better way to do it. I mean, no offense to the other ways that are doing it, but to make it so it's affordable for people to go and then obviously if you want to buy a shirt, do it, or please, that's great. But I love that. I love doing it that way. That's awesome. By the way, I do got to say right now, like your guys' like logo and all the stuff that you guys keep posting of like the gorillas and stuff like that. Whoever your graphic designer is doing a fantastic job.
You're looking at him.
Is it you?
Jeff's the main.
Man.
I'm the second.
Yeah.
He handles it 5 days a week. I'm the weekends since he has the kids, so I take the weekend. So between he and I, we're trying to figure stuff out, man, on the fly.
Dude, that's impressive. Hats off to you. That's impressive what you guys are doing, because those things are pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah.
So one of our most proud parts of the Western Hunt Fest, the thing that I'm most proud of with the Western Hunt Fest is initially in the planning, I wanted to do this in a debt-free matter. So everything that we've done debt-free. So, I mean, we're going to have a little bit of a slower growth doing it this way, but we have rented the targets. We've just done everything out of pocket, which is super rewarding, and that helps us lower the cost for the consumer.
Right.
So it's been really cool, and we're really proud of that part of it. Which we never touch on that when we're talking about it, but that's one of the things that is like one of the best parts of the Western Hunt Fest is that we're truly. I mean, we're putting a lot out,
right?
But it's truly for the love of the sport, So.
Hey, in the long run, that's going to be better for your clientele. It's going to be better for you guys as well. I mean,
just like Jeff said, right? It allows us to keep it to where it's affordable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. You don't have that big dollar number, that's hanging over your head that you're like, I got to make this back as soon as I possibly can. Right. And so I got to.
I mean, now don't get us wrong. We want to make it back.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we do want to make it back.
And then some.
But if you look at the value that we're able to create for what we're given by taking some of these things out, by running it debt free, the value for, our participants, man, is ginormous for that finance.
Oh yeah. So let's talk a little bit about where people can go to attend these, because now you got everybody excited. It's something that they can afford to do. They want to do all these things to kind of prepare for hunting season, or realize how unprepared they are. I know I've looked, I've cheated to see where all your guys' venues are, but I'll let you guys talk about it. So where can people go to do these events with you guys?
You want me to take it, Jeffrey?
Yes. So the kickoff will start in New Mexico. So it's going to be at the NRA Whittington Center, and that will be April 13th and 14th. The Whittington Center is special. It's huge. It's like 34,000 acres.
Oh.
They have like lodging they have these like big giant complexes called competitor housing where you can rent a single room. It's really affordable. I think it's like $80 a night. They have like single cabins that like a family could rent. They have single cabins that just a participant and his buddy could rent. They have primitive camping, which is what I want to say the primitive camping is somewhere between $10 and $15 a night. And then they have full RV hookups. They have every kind of range you could think of from like they have a disc golf course, they have a air rifle range, they have long distance ranges, they have skeet, they have trap, they have everything. So if you're going to the Whittington Center, make sure you guys go a few days early or stay a few days late because it's phenomenal.
Yeah, you can stay
And
busy.
that's going to be our
Awesome.
Yeah, that's our kickoff event, and that one, it is awesome. Then we head over to the Western Slope, and it's going to be at Cameo Shooting Complex. That one will be May 4th and May 5th, which I believe that one's in your backyard, if I'm not.
I was going to say, we're out on the Western Slope.
Yeah. Just outside of Junction. So you're just outside of Palisades.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Yeah. Yep. So we really wanted to, hit that Western Colorado, Eastern Utah demographic there, right? And in my opinion, that portion of the world is hurting for events, right? It's kind of ignored to a point.
Yeah, but
so
Junction
we really want to bring something, something on that side of the world. And Cameo falls into the same realm as the Whittington Center, right? Giant shooting facility, unbelievable, almost unlimited terrain, but activity after activity in terms of shooting sports. They have absolutely everything.
Nice. Where do we go from there?
Yeah. So from there, we jump up to Reno, Nevada.
Nice.
And we'll be at the Silver Arrow Bowman. And in Reno, we will be there May 25th and 26th. That's new territory for us. Efren is the expert on the Reno, so I don't want to give any false details, but apparently the facility is amazing. There's lots of national forest around it for camping and amenities. And for those gamblers, that's a great place for you.
Heck yeah. It's a sweet party town.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after we leave Nevada, then we come back to my home and my home range, which is the Air Force Academy. And that one will be June 1st and 2nd. And for those of you that know, the Air Force Academy is amazing.
I love
For those of
that
you that
range.
don't, it is amazing. It's great.
Do you do sorry, not to detract from your schedule, but do you do the Triple Crown that they do at the Air Force Academy?
I've never done it because it's peak wrestling season when they do it.
Oh.
So every time they have an event, I'm at a wrestling tournament with the boys. So I'm like, dang, I got to do it this year.
Dude, Pellegrino kills everybody, but it's such a sweet course, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I haven't done it yet, but I look forward to the day that I do.
Yeah.
And then after we finish at the Air Force Academy, we're going to tally up all the points, and we're going to do a special invite for our championship Western Hunt Fest. And that one's going to be a single day, and that's going to be July 27th at American Bowman, and it's where we had our inaugural event. So that place is special to us.
Yeah.
It's a great archery range. The archery range manager, I'm telling you, they are amazing. They really, we go hand in hand in what we want for archery shoots and where they place their pins and their targets. These guys understand it. They do a great job, and it's a great place to host the championship. It's gorgeous. It's steep uphill, downhill. There's a water feature. There's loose ground. There's rocks. There's everything. So
nice. And how many people go to that?
It's a great place. So that one, we are limited on space, and that's why we transitioned it into our championship. So we can have 100 to 120 competitors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're still crunching the numbers on who we're going to invite, but we want to give them a fair chance in the championship. So
that's still
once the champion starts,
pretty big crew. That's 100 to 120 people for a championship. That's a pretty big crew.
No, I think in the championship we'll probably be sitting in the realm, because right now with the point system and how we have it calced, we should have a 3-tier podium at each event. So that's men's and women's division. Right. So that's basically 6 per event. So you're looking at, somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 folks competing. We have some elimination stuff that we'll deal with in that. So, competitively, you'll have, call it 25 folks out there to go compete. But if folks want to come out and spectate, if folks want to come out and shoot for the day, we'll still have some of our vendors and sponsors at that event. So you'll still be able to get some interaction and, look at everything. And a lot of folks, I imagine, are going to come see what the competition is for the next year.
Yeah.
I'd imagine is how that's going to go down. So.
And I'm excited.
Yeah, and that day is truly to honor the athletes that have put in the work.
Yeah.
And we will have a small fee for like a shooter fee and people attending that are not invited. But we really want to make that day about the champions.
Yeah.
And we don't want to overcrowd it and not be able to honor them and really watch them and check on them and just, really admire what they're doing. So that day truly is about them.
Oh man, that's cool. That's perfect timing too. July 27th. I mean, you're right there before. I mean, a lot of archery hunts start August 1, so you're really right there at the end of it, so people can feel like they're actually prepared to go and hunt. So, man, this
one of the
cool
things that we didn't really touch on, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
man,
go ahead.
Was the prize package that we're putting together for this thing, right? For the championship. I mean, if you want a prize package, sign up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, and get ready because it's coming, right? I mean, we're swinging for the fences, and some of the backing that we have from some major hitters in the industry, some small mom and pops in the industry, is phenomenal. And we're only looking for more. What's up, man?
What's up, dude?
Hello.
I was gonna say I saw a little head sneaking in there. So, is this the wrestler?
Yeah.
That's one of your kid elk comp guys right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice.
Oh yeah.
That's cool though. I mean, man, to have that kind of prize package. Well, it sounds like you guys are doing a lot of prizes throughout each event at each venue. Is there any advantage to shooting more than one event? Does it help you at all? If, like, say I shot the one in Junction, and then I also went to the one in Reno, does that give me any kind of advantage at all?
Absolutely. Your overall points.
Okay, so
Right?
the overall
if you
points, so
build
it's not just singled
if
out.
you don't podium at an event, but you attend 2 events and your points say, hey, you have enough points to be at the championship, you're getting the invite.
So somebody like me that really sucks, I could go to all events and get enough points.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the things, right? And now so you can say I don't want to do the pack out, or my pack out time stinks, and shoot, and you can make it to Bailey, right? If you go to 4 events and shoot and your score is good, you can make it to Bailey.
Yeah.
The problem is going to be at Bailey you have to do the pack out for the ship.
Oh, okay.
So there's no avoiding the pack out.
Right.
And ultimately, how we see this in terms of our future in the event, we want it to be points overall, multiple events for, the same shooters and whatnot, right? Event to event to event to event.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I guess the thing, you look at like Spartan Race and how they kind of did that overall, right? And they have world leaders now, and that's really the goal of this to a point.
Absolutely.
And that's actually really good. I mean, because my last question that I had written down here is, what does the future of the Western Hunt Fest look like? I mean, I guess that's kind of where you're going with that. But I mean, we kind of talked about visions, and whatnot. Like, what is the vision for this? What's your ultimate goal?
Ephraim, he throws a hammer at Jeff and I for it, but we hunt. We are hunters. We are not archery hunters. We're rifle hunters. We're muzzleloader hunters. We're boomerang hunters, if that's what they tell us the season is.
Yeah.
So just know that the future is not going to be just archery for Western Hunt Fest.
Sweet.
So that is the vision.
I love that.
And we have a big plan. Him and I are planners. We have a big plan, and it's coming.
It's coming.
That's exciting. That's really exciting. I'd love to see some like long range rifle shooting competitions or something like that integrated into this.
Say no more.
Done.
Say no more.
Oh, dude.
See, I love that you call it Western. That's one thing. When I saw a Western Hunt Fest, I'm like, okay, are we singling out the Eastern hunter guys, which I know you're not, but as Western hunters, that's we're shooting long range. We're doing a lot of this type of archery shooting, and so to integrate some of that in there would be really freaking cool. So
I mean, if you look at it in the calling realm, and Jeff was the one who kind of cued me in. He's like, dude, duck calling. And, he can call Owdad in. I call Access in. But you got your duck, your geese, right? So,
turkey,
and we don't want to rush into anything, right? We want sustainable, real growth where there's benefit to our participants. But bringing those aspects in, there's guys that are mad waterfowl hunters that'll go out and hunt elk, and they go out because they enjoy it, but waterfowl's their thing.
Yeah.
We want to have them participate in our event ultimately, right? And then you have guys that are going out and, I shouldn't say it, but sniping, animals at 900, 1,000 yards. We want them in this event. Can you imagine a LR guy coming and he's, shooting rounds, and now he has his shot score, and now he's going to do a pack out challenge
right
after shooting his rifle.
Yep.
And maybe calling isn't involved in that so much.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be some educational pieces involved in that LR aspect too.
Yeah.
So
man.
It doesn't say Western Hunt Fest Archery Tournament for a reason.
And that was planned in the beginning, and Efren was part of that plan. So he
can't hold you back too much.
And he knew who he was dealing with. But the bigger picture to that, though, is where the hunting community is a community. We all need to come together, and if we want to get agendas done, we need to bridge that gap. And we want to be a big player in that, of bringing everybody together. And we're in our infancy stage, but eventually we want to bring that in and really make an impact on the community. Like all the place we go to, we're really focusing in on the locals. We want to bring those local vendors in. We want to support the local archery scene, and we want to build as a community. So there's a lot to it, and we jam pack a lot into it, but we're really trying to provide something special here with this.
Man, I'm excited to see where it goes too. When you can start adding some of this other stuff, I mean, it's amazing as it is. So please don't disregard that. But when you then start adding all this other stuff into it, I mean, it really is a Western Hunt Fest. I mean, it really is a cool thing for people to come and do and enjoy and whatnot. So, well, man, guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about this, and I'm super stoked for what the future holds for you guys. So just before we, sign off here, if people want to go and sign up, what's your guys' website? Where can people go to stay in touch with you guys and know when things are coming up? Because I've been in other 3D archery shoots where I've missed the deadline and haven't been able to sign up, or you sign up a day late and they're already sold out. I mean, how can people stay up to speed and be able to get into your guys' events?
So westernhuntfest.com, you could register on that. And then the IG is Western Hunt Fest. It's either Jeffrey or myself on a day-to-day answering if I see something sitting. Our rule is don't let it linger, so we're pretty quick in response. If you have questions, reach out to either of us. You can reach out, on there. Sign up on the website, and all information will keep funneling through both IG and that. And that's our two main platforms. You'll see Jeff post or I post on Facebook, but it'll be through either Western Contours or Jeff Duvall on those two. And then Efren will post on Pack 'em Out Apparel. That's his apparel line. So we're all there to answer questions, to help folks on. In terms of registration, we don't see at the venues we've selected, we don't see a limit to registration. So, we would prefer to accommodate and be prepared that we have pre-registration so folks know, or we know what we're coming into. And then we want everyone there to interact with, everything we have, the shooters, us. So if you come up and you're at an event and you see us, please come up, talk to us. We want to shake your hand. We want to thank you. We want to provide as much as we can. And that, really, that's it. Can I talk about our sponsors real quick?
Please do. Yeah. Let's hear about them.
Yeah. So we, some of our main sponsors, Pack 'em Out Apparel, Onyx Hunt, Kafaru International, Western Fly Covers. Yep. The Elk Bros are involved with us. Call companies, Rut Holsters. So the list goes on and on and on, right? And without our sponsors make a lot of this happen. for us and as our participants. So we just we can't end without saying something about them. We super appreciative of everybody that participates, but our sponsors as well.
It's how we do what we do, man. It really is. People always think, oh man, them and their sponsors, but it's how we do what we do. And hey, we need to do a podcast on the Western Fly covers at some point. And
yeah, whenever, brother.
I want to pick your brain about a couple things on that. So it'd be cool to do it during a podcast. I've actually meant to call you a couple times and just ask you, but I was like, man, we got to just do it on a podcast and get the
hit me up.
information.
So. You got the number.
Yeah. I for
always
sure
happy
will
to jump on.
So, well, check these guys out. WesternHuntFest.com. Get registered. Everybody can go on. They can go and register for the 2024 events right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So go on. If it's close to you, if it's not close to you, register. Get your travel plans, selected and all that stuff. But go on and get registered. Go check out these events. If you haven't understood by now, these are He is angry.
Started and ended with it.
We did. Well, little bookends there. That was sweet. But yeah, check it out.
Perfect.
But guys, appreciate you jumping on. Give Efren my best because I'd like to chat with him at some point too. But appreciate you guys joining the podcast today. Really appreciate you guys taking the time.
No, likewise, brother. We appreciate it, and for having us on. Plan to come to an event. We'll kick you a couple of shooter passes. Bring a buddy. Come partake in everything.
Consider it done, brother.
Appreciate you.
Consider it done.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Awesome. You guys stay good, and we'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thanks, man.
Take care.